on Myrtle Beach. When Brent is shot, Renee flags down a police officer on beach patrol.
He got on the radio and said, we've got a terrible situation down here. He contacts the EMS. They are on their way down there, as well as the cavalry from the Myrtle Beach Police Department.
We arrived on scene, and we walked down to the beach and noticed a female sitting in the beach patrol truck and a beach patrol officer there. The ambulance EMS personnel had arrived on scene and transported the victim to the hospital, Grand Strand Regional Medical Center, which is less than a mile away.
As Brent Poole fights for his life, a distraught Renee assists the police in their hunt for the attacker.
She gave a basic description of a person dressed all in black, wearing a mask.
He was around 6 foot tall and probably about 230 pounds. Could not give us any indication of whether it was a white male, black male, Hispanic male. She just didn't know.
After the assailant shot her husband, he ran off towards the wooded area, towards the houses. We had a shooter at large in the city, a family community. So it was frightening.
The Bloodhound unit was called in hopes that we could get any kind of a scent to find where the perpetrator had taken off to, and so we could start tracking him down.
They start combing the neighborhood, looking for clues, trying to find out what they can find out, knocking on doors, talking to people.
The attack is a strange occurrence in this idyllic beach town.
It was a dramatic, sort of unprecedented event, which scared a lot of people. This is the height of vacation season in a vacation town, which is not to say at that time there wasn't, random crime here and there in Myrtle Beach, but, by and large, you felt pretty safe walking on the beach.
Back at the crime scene, the forensics team arrives and starts processing evidence.
And they take photographs and collect any evidence, physical evidence that they can find. They found several shell casings and also live ammunition to where it had been ejected out of a firearm. That told us right then that somebody had either didn't know how to use the gun or it jammed on them. I left the scene, traveled to the hospital to check the status of the victim, went into the emergency room, and I noticed a lot of blood still dripping from him. The blood was all over the floor. It was actually still dripping off of the gurney. It was a very, very bloody scene. It was obvious that there was a headshot. I noticed that the ER staff, they'd already stopped.
12:21 a.m., June 10th, 1998. After spending one of the happiest days of his life on the beach, celebrating his wedding anniversary with his family, 24-year-old husband and father, Brent Poole, is pronounced dead.
I immediately called down to the scene where other detectives and our supervisors were at that time and explained to them, like, hey, this is a serious incident, person's dead, and he has at least 2 gunshot wounds to the head.
The investigation now turns from a search for a robber to a hunt for a stone-cold killer.
We had a killer loose out on the city, and we had to follow up on everything we could.
It is past 3 a.m. when Detective King goes to the police station to interview Renee.
She was upset. She'd been crying. Could have been in some type of shock. Her husband's been shot. So now I have to tell her this news that her husband has been killed.
Myself and Detective John King asked Renee to basically start at the beginning.
They went out on the town in Myrtle Beach as they were coming back. They stopped at a beachwear store and got a big beach towel and then took a walk on the beach down to the secluded area, laid the towel down and made love on the beach. She said after they
finishing having sex on the beach, they started walking back to their hotel. And at one point, they started noticing an individual dressed all in black off to their right-hand side up in the sand dunes. The person started coming towards them, at which time she said they both started running. The person chased them down, and the person pointed a gun at him and told him to lay down on the beach. According to Renee, they laid down on their backs to where this person could rob them.
Brent handed over his wallet. What he had in his wallet was some money and credit cards. She handed over her jewelry that she had on. Renee said that he then stood over her husband with the gun. And that's when the husband begged him for his life. He asked, why should I not kill you? And the husband said, because I have a 3-year-old daughter that I love very much. And she said that's when she heard the clicking. And I asked her, like a misfire? She said, yeah, like a misfire. And then the gun went off. And then she heard it clicking, and then the gun went off again.
What really got me sparked that just didn't make sense is when this individual was told them to lay on their backs. I've never heard of a robbery person telling somebody to lay on their backs. It's always lay down, face down, don't look at me. But this person committing the robbery didn't seem to mind being looked at by Mr. and Mrs. Poole. There's no doubt that the person committing the robbery was there for a reason.
Coming up, the gut instincts of an ER doctor turns the investigation in an astounding new direction.
He pointed up underneath his chin of the victim and said, there's a bullet entry wound here, and you can feel the bullet lodged in the top of his skull, and then there's another contact wound on his left ear. Definitely in his mind, it was an execution.
This is a payday bar with tons of peanuts and caramel that get the job done. So you can think of it as a tool to hammer your hunger, cut your appetite in half, and demolish your urge for peanuts. Payday. Get to it. Also try chocolatey payday.
Look at that Wendy's breakfast burrito. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, sausage. Gotta hand it to the tortilla. That sucker's holding on for dear life. The boss of breakfast, gotta be Wendy's.
With Vaseline, hydrated skin is just the beginning. Level up to even-toned, radiant skin. New Vaseline Radiant X Body Lotion with 1% niacinamide. Level up to even-toned skin.
This is your sign to do dinner at Cracker Barrel and dig into an irresistible shepherd's pie with crispy hash brown casserole on top. Or make your hash brown casserole a little more breakfasty. So get the crew together and come on in.
Did you know the first signs of aging start around your eyes? Try Olay Super Eye Serum, the serum that targets top eye concerns. It hydrates, brightens, refreshes tired eyes, and improves fine lines and puffiness. Try Olay Super Eye Serum.
While others give you less, Domino's wants to give you more. For a limited time, when you order any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, we'll upgrade one to a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation, only at Domino's.
With Vaseline, hydrated skin is just the beginning. Level up to even-toned, radiant skin. New Vaseline Radiant X Body Lotion with 1% niacinamide. Level up to even-toned skin.
Look, she's just sitting here building her credit by...
I forgot you were here.
Self gives you credit for the rent you were going to pay anyways, and reports it to the credit bureaus within 72 hours. Free credit building for renters with Self.
When we made the switch to Coterie diapers, our baby started sleeping better through the night and we had way less diaper changes. The material is incredibly soft, thin, and luxurious. It feels like clothing. If you want the best of the best for your baby, try Coterie. You won't regret it.
My relationship with my family and with my boyfriend and with myself were suffering. I really needed help.
Really getting those thoughts out to a therapist and getting feedback was just life-changing. Why do we accept waiting 2 weeks for payday?
Thanks to Chime, I don't have to wait to get paid anymore. I couldn't believe it. I can get up to $500 of my pay on my schedule. There's no interest, no credit checks, no mandatory fees. Join me at Chime.com and get paid when you say.
What is Circle? Circle is the fuel you need to take flight. Circle is the energy that gets you to the next level. Circle is what you hope for when life tosses lemons your way. Circle, available at Walmart and drinkcircle.com.
Looking for a way to stretch the dollar? With Insurify, you can cut your car insurance bill in half. Scroll through dozens of prices and tap to switch online. That's it. No phone calls and no wasted time. Go to Insurify and save today.
Get ready. Hell no. To scream for the camera.
Scare Tactics!
Scare Tactics. Series premiere Friday, October 4th on USA.
In the early hours of June 10th, 1998, detectives from the Myrtle Beach Police Department called Brent Poole's family, who live in Winston-Salem.
The phone rang, and my husband answered it, and I could hear my dad screaming in the background, and my husband said there's been an accident and Brent's been killed. So my dad, my mom, and myself jumped in the car and headed towards Myrtle Beach.
At the beach, police leave no stone unturned in their hunt for Brent Poole's killer. But they have little to go on.
At the scene, they found 2 spent cartridges, a live cartridge, ring, cigarettes, change. His wallet was missing.
The police believe that they've had a robbery murder and that the robber has escaped.
But the ER doctor who tried to save Brent's life doubts his death was the result of a robbery gone wrong.
Definitely in his mind, it was an execution. I became flabbergasted. I've never heard a doctor actually say that. He pointed up underneath his chin. There's a bullet entry wound here, and you can feel the bullet lodged in the top of his skull. And then there's another contact wound on his left ear. And there was so much muzzle blast, it was obviously the gun was pressed up against the person's head when both shots were fired.
If the murder wasn't a robbery gone wrong, then the killer must have had a deeper motive. But who would want Brent and Renee dead, and why? The Myrtle Beach police look for answers from Brent Poole's parents, who are on their way to the crime scene.
My parents, they said, you know, you might want to know that Renee was having an affair.
Renee's affair with another man had been prior to their reconciliation. Even more surprising details emerge.
The Poole family had a wealth of information about the marital problems, and that Renee was working in a strip club.
So that was quite a shock to realize all these nights that you've been watching Katie, because she was either bored or said she wanted to spend some time with friends, she was dancing at a strip club.
So that changed a bit, at least the complexion of this entire investigation. There may be more to this sweet little couple that was here in Myrtle Beach for their anniversary.
For armed with this knowledge about Renee Poole's double life, the detectives go back to the room to continue the interview.
I went in and questioned her to rehash her story again. Basically see if she's going to be consistent. She was. I asked her at the end of the interview, was there anything else that she wanted to tell us that we didn't ask her? And that's when she told about John Boyd Frazier.
John Boyd Frazier is a patron of the Silver Fox Club in Winston-Salem, where Renee dances. And her former lover.
Renee had moved out and moved in with this guy. She openly told us that her husband knew about the affair and that she had moved back home and her husband had forgiven her for that.
This could be a jealous lover who is upset that his girlfriend has gone back with her husband, came down to Myrtle Beach unbeknownst to her, and killed her husband.
I asked her point blank, was it John Boyd Frazier that shot and killed her husband? But she didn't know because the person had on a mask. By this time, it's about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and we wanted her to get back to the hotel where her daughter was.
As Renee leaves to deal with the sad task of telling her daughter that her daddy isn't coming back, the Poole family arrives.
We put flowers at the spot where it happened, and then we asked if they could take us to see Brent. So when they took us to the hospital, Renee and her parents went also. We walked in there, and the only thing I could see were his feet. I was like, okay, that's my brother's feet. But the rest of them, it wasn't Brent, because they had shot him twice in the head. Renee and I walked outside of the hospital, and she just sat on the curb, no emotions, no tears. She's just got to be in another world right now. I just sat beside her on the little step outside of the hospital. I just sat with her.
With the clock ticking, the Myrtle Beach police are honing in on the whereabouts of John Boyd Frazier, Renee's former lover, who lives almost 4 hours away in Winston-Salem. They contact the local authorities, asking them for their assistance. Could John have even done the murder, given the distance and timing?
They were able to locate him at his residence at about 6 o'clock in the morning. The officer that actually responded to his house, once he makes contact with John Frazier at the door, he looks like he had just been woken up, hair was messed up, half asleep.
You know, in terms of the time span, the way, you know, the time in which law enforcement responded to John Boyd Frazier's home, there clearly was a window. Not a huge window, but a window sufficient for him to have committed the crime. They talked to him, asked him what he'd been doing the last few days. He said, I was home sick. I called in sick to work.
They find out more about the times when Frazier and Brent were both there at the strip club. Not so much bad blood, but they were there together and kind of, you know, doing the guy thing to each other a little bit.
But being Renee's former lover doesn't mean John Boyd Frazier is a killer. The police remain open-minded and widen the scope of the investigation.
After talking with the Poole family, no doubt Renee has led a life with several affairs, and that we're going to have several people that we're probably going to have to talk to and find out more of her background.
The discovery of more men and more affairs makes the suspect pool grow. Was there one whose jealousy took him too far?
Renee's lifestyle was affairs on her husband every chance she got, men and women.
She was prolific. You know, there were folks that she saw during the middle of the day. There were folks she saw at night, folks she saw at work.
Sex was a drug for her. And she abused it, you know, just like you can abuse anything, you know. She was definitely an addict.
Jenny's supposed to be a very rich woman. Something happened to Ed.
On this season of Killer Relationship,
there was a distinct shift in their relationship.
devotion
They were in love with each other, living the good life.
becomes deadly.
Over the course of the divorce, he became a very hateful person.
Was he hiding something about his relationship?
He had been having an affair.
That's why he killed somebody. He's capable of murder.
Killer Relationship with Faith Jenkins. New episodes Saturdays at 8. Only on Oxygen True Crime.
Prime Big Deal Days is coming October 8th and 9th. With exclusive savings just for Prime members, you'll feel like a big deal. Shop deals on electronics, fashion, and more this Prime Big Deal Days, October 8th and 9th.
At Domino's, we know some companies are guilty of shrinkflation, giving you less for the same price. But we're going to give you more. Mix and match any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, and we'll upgrade 1 medium pizza to a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation, at Domino's.
With Vaseline, hydrated skin is just the beginning. Level up to even-toned, radiant skin. New Vaseline Radiant X Body Lotion with 1% niacinamide. Level up to even-toned skin.
Could this be menopause? Clearblue Menopause Stage Indicator uses an app that combines your age, cycle data, and FSH hormone levels over time in a personalized report to share with your doctor to get the clarity you need.
At Cracker Barrel, there are no breakfast rules because breakfast rules all day long. Like our decadent new French toast bake, topped with our famous fried apples. So come in anytime, and we'll break out the breakfast.
Today on Navigata Island,
You are a special person, and you deserve to be treated like one by your wireless carrier.
Metro agrees. That's why new and existing customers are treated the same with Metro Flex. Free 5G phones when you join, or best deals when you stay. Only at Metro.
Did you know that if you shave, 1/3 of what you remove is skin? New Dove helps repair it. So if you shave it, does it. New Dove. Replenish your skin after every shave.
Look at that Wendy's breakfast burrito. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, sausage. Gotta hand it to the tortilla. That sucker's holding on for dear life. The boss of breakfast, gotta be Wendy's.
Did you know your skin barrier is more receptive to skincare at night? Olay Super Serum Night Repair delivers 5 benefits in 1. Visibly renewing surface skin cells while you sleep. You'll see visible results in 7 nights. Olay.
New Dunga Latte is perfect.
Made with coffee milk, which is hard to explain.
I'll say,
Is that Kristen Wiig?
all we need now is a famous person to say how rich and creamy it is. And delicious. And explain it.
The Dunkin' way to latte.
June 11th, 1998. It's been only 2 days since Brent Poole played with his daughter at Myrtle Beach and enjoyed precious hours with the wife he adored on the anniversary of their wedding day. The glue that held them together was their beautiful little girl, Katie.
She still thought he was going out to get pizza. I can remember vividly her seeing a pair, of her daddy's shoes. And she goes, "Those are my daddy's shoes. I want him to put them on."
The Myrtle Beach police are doing their best to find justice for Brent Poole and suspect the key to his murder lies in Renee's double life.
They began running down leads on these other fellas, wondering if maybe they were involved in the murder. Was it this one? Was it that one? Was it this John Fraser guy? They're working all those leads kind of simultaneously.
Detectives King and Altman head to Winston-Salem to immerse themselves deeper in the suspect pool.
You have to go where the evidence points you to, and once you can start eliminating suspects, you start going from one to the next until you find the target that you're looking for.
Following the evidence leads the detectives to yet another scandalous revelation.
Investigation revealed that Renee had a real good friend, and her husband was a bartender at the Silver Fox. And she started having an affair with him behind her friend's back. Big red flag was the person had ended up making a sex tape with her and actually mailed the video to the Poole family.
Don't know why. Speculation would be that he wanted the parents to know what type of person Renee was.
He was very forthcoming in the fact that, yes, he had been having an affair with her. He actually gave us a copy of the sex tape that he had made with her. It was like, look, I'm also involved with her at one point, but I broke it off.
Investigators asked the bartender where he was the night of June 9th.
He said that he was at home that night, talked to his roommate. That's where he was. Nothing else pointed us to this bartender being involved.
The bartender may be off the suspect list, but there are plenty more.
She was also having sexual relationships with other strippers. One of the girls also that she was having sex with was there at the strip club.
As the list of potential suspects snowballs, the case takes an unexpected turn on June 12th. Witnesses from the night in question on Myrtle Beach come forward.
Mark and Donna Hobbs from Goodview, Virginia, were down here. They were celebrating their anniversary. They had had this odd incident where they had seen somebody blocks away from the murder scene. At about that time, or just before, it was all dressed in all dark clothing.
And he had a hoodie on and was kind of lurching, being mischievous, ducking down. Once they made eye contact with him, he ducked and took off. And the wife was like, this guy is just too shady and suspicious. I don't feel comfortable. So they ended up going back inside the hotel.
And they got a pretty good look at him because he kind of stuck out.
It was a great lead for law enforcement. They've got somebody that's describing someone that very closely fits the description of John Fraser. And he is a unique looking fellow. I mean, he's got some characteristics, bug eyes, big forehead.
Police realize it's time to bring Renee back in and press her on John Boyd Fraser. And what they find out is anything but a new chapter in Renee and Brent's love story.
She said she wanted out of the marriage, and she had gone and talked with the divorce attorney, and that attorney advised her, if you get this divorce, chances are you're not going to get the child because of your lifestyle. Stripper, and her affairs.
She admitted that was the only reason she moved back, because of the custody issue. The attorney asks to stop the interview. Asked Renee to step outside. She left, and we're kind of floored.
Look at that Wendy's breakfast burrito. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, sausage. Gotta hand it to the tortilla. That sucker's holding on for dear life. The boss of breakfast, gotta be Wendy's.
Prime Big Deal Days is coming October 8th and 9th. With exclusive savings just for Prime members, you'll feel like a big deal. Shop deals on electronics, fashion, and more this Prime Big Deal Days, October 8th and 9th.
With Vaseline, hydrated skin is just the beginning. Level up to even-toned, radiant skin. New Vaseline Radiant X Body Lotion with 1% niacinamide. Level up to even-toned skin.
This is ludicrous.
Ludicrous. All right, who called for ludicrous?
Sorry, we meant this is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Well, you don't tell ludicrous what's ludicrous. Ludicrous tells you what's ludicrous.
Okay.
Oh, that is ludicrous. You don't need me for this. Hang on. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Good thing you have State Farm. Just file a claim on the app or call us.
Guess I can go.
Don't you mean roll out?
No, I don't.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
While others give you less, Domino's wants to give you more. For a limited time, when you order any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, we'll upgrade one to a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation, only at Domino's.
Did you know that if you shave, 1/3 of what you remove is skin? New Dove helps repair it. So if you shave it, Dove it. New Dove. Replenish your skin after every shave.
Rhythm is finally getting a full hours of sleep thanks to Coterie diapers. We switched to Coterie, and he started sleeping 11 hours a night. When we made the switch, our baby started sleeping better through the night and had way less diaper changes. So if you're in need of more sleep and you want to upgrade your diaper, try Coterie.
So you can securely report your positive rent payments to all 3 credit bureaus for free.
Quicker than it takes your landlord to finally get around to fixing that leaky ceiling. Rebuild your credit score with positive payment history for free. With Stout.
What does home mean to you? It's being present, living every moment. It's an expression, a reflection of you. It's moments of connection and storytelling, a place to gather, a place to rest. It's where you belong. Shape your home story with Fable.
The only thing I don't like about payday is waiting for it. Chime lets you get up to $500 of your pay whenever you need it. There's no interest, no credit checks, no mandatory fees. I'm not waiting for payday anymore, and you shouldn't either. Join me at Chime.com and get paid when you say.
There's so much ease with using BetterHelp.
I knew that I wanted to get help immediately. I was going to be able to see a therapist within that same week.
Now I feel so much more confident in expressing myself, and that's been a great gift.
Sundays are for sleep.
I said, she's a type and you gonna be the first.
And snack behind the bars. New episodes Sunday starting at 6 on Oxygen True Crime.
June 12, 1998, Winston-Salem. Detectives from Myrtle Beach wait for an interview with Renee Poole to resume while she talks with her lawyer in a hallway. Was it John Boyd Frazier who killed her husband? It doesn't take long for police to find out.
Renee comes back into the room.
Was it or was it not John Boyd Frazier? And she finally said that yes, it was. And we asked her, well, how did you know if this person's dressed all in black and in a mask? And she said from his voice, from his mannerism, and just being around him.
We know we've got enough right now to get a warrant on John Frazier. We've also got enough to charge her with obstruction of justice for withholding information during our first interview with her.
Now armed with Renee's admission, police hone in on John Boyd Frazier, and the killer's motive becomes crystal clear.
He was absolutely infatuated with Renee. I think he was captivated by her. It was conceivable that he was going to do whatever it took to be with her. It was entirely possible to believe that Renee may have just suggested, if Brent was gone, they could be together.
In the early morning hours of June 13th, 1998, with arrest warrant in hand, the Myrtle Beach police make a move to take Frazier into custody.
We had the fugitive task force, and they actually found him at his parents' house.
At 8 p.m., the detectives bring John Frazier into the interview room.
Right off the bat, he just flew off the handle at us. Slammed his fist down on the interview table. Said, "I'm not talking to you." We ended up doing a search of his residence and also his workplace. At the workplace, we didn't find any kind of physical evidence as guns, ammunition, or anything like that.
But what they do discover is a game changer.
We did find out from his bosses, and they were able to provide emails with us where he requested the days off during the time that Renee and Brent were in Myrtle Beach.
John Frazier didn't just follow the Pooles to Myrtle Beach on impulse. He had been planning to go there for weeks to commit murder.
He had asked for the time off well in advance from his employer. So he needed this block of time to carry out this crime. The elements then come together, and you start to piece together some of the circumstantial evidence that makes the case even stronger. Things like Frazier purchasing a gun that was the same caliber as the murder weapon.
What remains to be answered is just how involved was Renee in the plot to kill her husband on their anniversary.
She had to be more involved for it to happen like it happened, because how would Frazier know where hotel she's staying? How would Frazier know what time she's leaving? So she's got to be giving him all of this information.
It became more and more clear that this was a plan that they had created together. But for Renee, Brent Poole would not be dead.
It is the day of Brent Poole's viewing at the funeral home when a task force executes a plan to arrest his bride and the love of his life, Renee.
Renee was standing right beside the casket. I happened to look up and I saw some of the detectives in each doorway. And Renee kisses me on the cheek and says, "I want you to know that Brent knows how much you love him." My whole family was in that room. Why me? It just sickens me to this day.
Renee was actually really shocked for the first time that she was actually being arrested and didn't know what to do. It was like, at that time, just shaken and couldn't comprehend what was going on.
They just took her away. I mean, it wasn't like she was screaming, "No, I'm innocent." You know, the guilt was on her face.
Charged with obstruction of justice, the task force brings Renee back to the station for detectives to try and get the truth out of her once again.
This time we had her. She was under arrest. Mirandized her. Basically went back again through Renee, like start from the very beginning. Let's rehash the whole thing.
And then she blurts out, John told her to get Brent to the location and he'll take care of the rest.
She didn't think John had the balls to do it, and she told him that. And he told her that he was going to give her an anniversary present. And so on, behold, that's what he did. He came down here and killed it.
Who am I?
I'm a mom.
I am an abuelo, and I am a big hugger.
I'm a sister, Tia y amiga.
I'm a Norwegian, and I'm the best of both worlds. I am an entrepreneur.
The family translator.
I'm the #1 soccer fan.
I'm the life of the party.
I am Afro-Latina.
I am crazy about Latin food. So good. I'm a passionate dancer.
I am all that I am. All that I am. Hispanic heritage.
Celebrating all that we are.
My moderate to severe plaque psoriasis held me back. Now with Skyrizi, I'm all in with clear skin. Things are getting clearer. Yeah, I feel free. To bend my skin, yeah, that's on me. Nothing is everything. Whoa. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And most people were clearer even at 5 years. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
Now's the time. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
While others give you less, Domino's wants to give you more. For a limited time, when you order any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, we'll upgrade one to a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation, only at Domino's.
With Vaseline, hydrated skin is just the beginning. Level up to even-toned, radiant skin. New Vaseline Radiant X Body Lotion with 1% niacinamide. Level up to even-toned skin.
Jamie, my apartment was robbed last night. If only Progressive had renter's insurance like their home insurance.
That way we could bundle our cars and get the same 24/7 protection.
Totally.
Totally is the best word ever.
Totally.
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 Look at that Wendy's breakfast burrito. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, sausage. Gotta hand it to the tortilla. That sucker's holding on for dear life. The boss of breakfast, gotta be Wendy's.
Did you know there's a detergent that gets your dishes up to 100% clean, even in an older dishwasher? Try Cascade Platinum Plus. For sparkling clean dishes, even on the toughest jobs. Just scrape, load, and you're done. Switch to Cascade Platinum Plus. Did you know that if you shave, 1/3 of what you remove is skin? New Dove helps repair it. So if you shave it, does it. New Dove. Replenish your skin after every shave.
While others give you less, Domino's wants to give you more. For a limited time, when you order any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, we'll upgrade one to a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation. Only at Domino's.
This is a payday bar. It's got tons of peanuts and a caramel core that get the job done. So you can think of it as a tool to be kept here, or even here, but definitely not here. It's not a pencil, people. Payday. Get to it.
By June 13th, 1998, Myrtle Beach police have finally unraveled the plot by Renee Poole to murder her husband Brent on their wedding anniversary.
Renee Poole essentially gave us Renee Poole. She said, well, you know, we did have a plan, and it was to kill Brent. But I really didn't want him to do it, and I really didn't think he would. But he did.
Brent's family is devastated when they realize the extent of Renee's betrayal.
I mean, her and John went to a lot of trouble to do this. You're like, can she get any more evil? What kind of person has that little of a conscience that they can do that to their spouse?
But what is most unfathomable is how Renee lured Brent to his death.
I use the term Black Widow to describe her because it's precisely what the Black Widow spider does in nature. She literally had sex with her husband knowing that he was going to be killed in the next moment. It shows someone that they truly have no conscience.
That was the easy part for Renee. For Renee, sex was just an act. I said the hard part had to have been that night that they had supper. And she was having to make eye contact with Brent and carry on the conversation, knowing that her daughter's in the hotel. And within an hour or two, Brent's life was going to be taken.
Renee Poole is later charged with criminal conspiracy and murder. Her trial is held November 8, 1999 in Conway, South Carolina. She makes every effort to dress conservatively at her court appearances.
Renee Poole walked in looking like a librarian. Solicitor Hembry and I saw her walk in like, oh, okay.
They had done a very good job getting her appearance ready for trial. And so she was dressed in a very conservative suit, very conservative haircut. Not the stripper that we know from Silver Fox at all. I mean, she has all of a sudden become a Sunday school teacher.
Once the jury began to hear about the real Renee Poole, that she could have been dressed in glitter, it wouldn't have mattered. They knew who she was by the end of the trial.
Renee's defense is that she was coerced into a confession.
She was trying to say none of it's true, that we made her say these things.
Final day of the trial, when they know they're going to be in there for the verdict. She wore a tight cherry red dress, and the jury was out for a while, and she just had the demeanor about her that she was going to be walking home free and being found not guilty.
After 6 days of testimony and 8 hours of deliberation, the jury reaches a verdict.
That was the second time that I saw any emotion out of Renee Poole. And the clerk reads the verdict. And when the clerk read guilty of murder, Renee Poole fell apart. She began sobbing. She kind of got weak in the knees. She truly realized what, that her strength, her game had run out.
The closure had definitely not come to the family yet, but, I think they felt, well, I know they felt at that point that the person who started this, this wicked story in motion, had received her justice.
On November 13th, 1999, the same day she is convicted, Renee is sentenced to life in prison without parole. And in February, John Frazier is convicted of first-degree murder, armed robbery, and conspiracy.
He must have been really desperate to do what he did, thinking that he was going to be the one. Taking a chance of giving up everything that you've ever had in life over her? How the hell's that worth it?
The father would never walk her down the aisle and give her away in marriage, see her have her own children. There's a lot of things she took away from the daughter and the father, just because she was selfish and wanted it all.
Britt was an absolute great guy. He was a great dad. He just wanted to keep his family together. If it hadn't have been for Katie, I think he would have let her go. I couldn't blame him for wanting to keep his family together.
My parents raised Katie. They did an amazing job. And she's a beautiful, beautiful young lady right now. I think of Brent when I see Katie. I think of Brent when I see my parents. I think of Brent on the holidays when there's that empty chair. There's not a day that goes by. I miss him so much. I have to take my faith and say that we're all going to see him again.
For more information, please visit oxygen.com.